tint of yellow just because it's Sunday and life. And I'm part of Sparks of Madness. So yeah, we'll just go. Oh no, it's different on my screen. So let's go with Vivian. Vivian's right underneath me, and we'll go from there.
Hello, I'm Vivian. I am a Libra Sun and Moon Taurus rising. I'm feeling very green today for so many reasons. One is that I'm here, and that is exciting. And also, I host our Gay Pirate Show presented by the team that brought you Bitcherton. We have an episode tomorrow at 9 p.m. And it's real gay and real piratey.
I love it. Okay, let's go with Carly's next.
Hello everyone, I'm Carly. I'm feeling like pinkish purplish. Kind of pink purplish, like a little bit of sparkles. That's how I'm feeling today. I am a Leo sun, Capricorn rising, Sagittarius moon. And I do The Spark, which is a live show that we do on Twitch where we talk about the universe and everything. I love that we were doing because we're all like the woo-woo gals, you know? And I was like, I love it. It was like, let's put all the woo-woo gals in a freaking show. And I was like, let's do it. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited about that we get to get a little woo-woo all together.
I love it. Yes, woo-woo. To a person that I dearly love, barely know. Just kidding. I love her a lot. Felicia.
Hi, everybody. I'm Felicia. I'm feeling, I feel orange today because I feel like excited about the future, but I'm also super anxious and like going through a lot of healing. So I just feel like there's caution, but there's also excitement. I am a Libra moon. No, I'm Libra. Where's my brain? I'm Libra, Scorpio rising, Capricorn moon. I didn't have to just read that off my phone because I know by heart. And I am a part of Unlearning podcast that we haven't had a release in a while, but you know, that orange and that healing.
And we have another podcast that is in the works.
Yes, with Val, that I am super excited about because I just think it's really important about first generation people and about their experiences and the things that they had to unlearn and go through and think about. So I just think I'm really excited to do that with Val. Yeah.
All right. Let's check in with Kristen.
Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be here. I'm definitely feeling green to be with all these folks. And I also had a bagel for breakfast from my favorite place down the street. So I started on a really good note, enjoying a favorite treat. I am a Pisces sun, an Aquarius rising, and a Aquarius moon, Libra rising. Goofing it up a bit. So definitely a water sign through and through. Your girl feels a lot of emotion. And on the Trident Network, I host Trident Trivia, which we have been a little bit on a hiatus, but we are going to be coming back strong this year. And we're thinking of some different topics. So if anyone feels very passionate about anything, I'm planning a Bravo trivia because that is something near and dear to my heart. I love that trash more than just about anything. So stay tuned for that.
Oh my gosh. As my partner can test, he knows too much about Vanderpump.
Yes.
I've never seen the show. We do not have the time for this. And last but not least, let's go, Kayla.
Hey everyone. My name is Kayla. I am feeling like forest green. You know what I mean? Like gratitude, but also like I need to be away from the sun. Does that make sense? Yeah. I am a double Pisces sun and moon and a Capricorn rising. So screaming all the time internally, but in a fun way, and I am one of the hosts of the Witching Hour, which we will actually have a new episode of tomorrow at 8 p.m. right before our Gay Pirate Show. So a great day to have a double feature.
Yes. Spend your money. It's cold. Or spend your money. Spend your time and money though.
It's cold.
Spend your money. It's cold.
Patreon, baby. But also
Yeah.
I didn't get to say mine, which I'm a Scorpio, rising Pisces, and a Gemini moon. So I'm myself, and I'm loved. Great. So let's just if you were here earlier behind the scenes, you would know, but you weren't. So props to you. Awesome. So let's talk about for the Trident, the big three, because it is birthdays before we get into our next segment. So the Trident's big three is the sun, is the Pisces, which represents your ego and motivations. The rising is also Pisces. So we have a double rising Pisces, which speaks to the energy that we put out into the world. So before we get into the moon, which will be a hot surprise, those that are Pisces that know a lot about being Pisces, let's talk about it.
I'll say good luck as a double Pisces myself. It's been a fun ride, but we're riding. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kayla, what's the like major benefit and what's the major challenge to a double Pisces?
I think, well, I just ended my Saturn return. So if anybody knows what that means, my last 3
you
years.
crushed it. You crushed your Saturn return.
Yeah. I love talking about.
Don't know, what does your Saturn return mean?
Okay, so your Saturn return, there's a lot of things. It's basically like your Saturn birthday, if you think about it. So it's when Saturn has made a full rotation by the time you were born, right? So it's also like scientifically, your brain goes through a different transformation, like 27 to 30. Your brain actually like neurologically like becomes an adult. So it's kind of like a new teenage vibe going from youth to adulthood. So a lot of changes, a lot of understanding responsibilities and understanding yourself kind of stuff. Yeah. But I think I think being a Pisces, I love it because you really learn how to flow, right? It's all about water and flowing, and like Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac as well. So I think what I've learned is like I love my water, but I love my Capricorn rising because every water needs a container. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's like air, land, fire, whatever is going to help you out, help get to it, which leads us to our Trident Network moon, which the moon, I wrote this down, governs our emotional nature. So for us as a Trident Network is Libra. So let's talk about it.
Let's go Libras.
Yes. Well, I think like the main thing for me for Libra is just like I really want like justice and fairness, and also I can't make small and large decisions because I couldn't even make a decision of what I wanted to start with to say. But it's just like it's a lot of like I could do this, but then this is the benefit and this is how it wouldn't be beneficial, but then I could do this, and then 12 weeks later I still haven't made a decision.
But I think you do that with such style because when I think of Libras, I'm like aesthetic babes. You know what I mean?
It's like I want it to look how I want it to look. And if I can't make it look like that, then I'm like, I need to go back and figure out how I can get to that end result of looking how I want it to be. Yeah.
Yes. Wow. Every Libra needs a Scorpio friend, and I'm a Scorpio friend.
There it is.
True.
So it's sort of like how every introvert needs an extrovert. We all need like people that are different from us, which makes us really great. So I'm so happy that we're here to be talking about witchy stuff. So,
and I think too, this is like so interesting and fun that this is the Trident Network's big three, because it's like they're flowing to different kinds of content and they're making sure it's looking good, but they're not making a decision for everyone. It's just like open. I'm like, okay, I see you, Trident Network.
Yeah.
Okay, Libra.
Val and my own best friend. I don't know if it's in context, but I'm taking it as such.
Because you said every Libra needs a Scorpio best friend, and I'm a Libra Scorpio cusp, so I was just asking if I was my own best friend.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's really sweet.
You should be your own friend because you should like the person you are. You know?
Yeah. Most of the time,
Agree.
I do.
And I love that person. Yeah.
I love that person.
Yeah.
I love all of you.
80-20.
Yeah.
So that leads us into our next segment about tarot card readings. Let's go with that.
Okay, so I kind of thought since we all are storytellers in our own ways and on our shows, we can just pull a card maybe for some advice, and then we can talk about how we feel about the card, and then maybe if a story comes to your mind, why don't you just shout it out, you know? So I have my wonderful deck of cards. So if everyone just wants to take a second, feel the ground underneath you, notice that there's air around you, right? What a privilege we have. Just take a deep breath in and let it out. Take another deep breath in And on this exhale, just let some worries roll off your shoulders. Nothing's too serious, right? And let's see what we have here. Whoop. Okay, interesting. Hello, we have the Lovers. Can you see this?
Okay.
So this is going to be a major arcana card. So people who are less familiar with tarot, it's kind of split up into two little different sections. We have the major arcana cards, which are really going to be signals of like big karmic and spiritual lessons that we have to learn in life, like the big obstacles and themes. And then we also have minor cards, just going to be focusing more on like the day-to-day obstacles, what energies we need to bring in, and maybe get the fuck out of our lives as well. So kind of fun for a birthday pool that we're getting a major arcana card. So does anybody have any certain feeling?
The first thing I'm still trying to, the best way to learn the tarot meanings is practice. So I'm always like trying to remember the tarot meanings. And I just got this for someone recently. And the interesting thing that I read about this is it can indicate romance and things like that, but it can also indicate a choice. So the inverse card of the Lovers is the Devil. So if you look at the Devil card, it looks like the inverse of the Devil. Or if you look at the Devil card, it looks like the inverse of the Lovers. But as it can mean romance, but it can also mean making a choice and going towards what either, and being able to choose whether it's like something that is more aligned with you or a certain type of value, or if you're going to take a different route, maybe that has just revealed itself to you. So that's something that's the first thing that came up to mind when it was like the Lovers, like choosing like something that's aligned, or maybe you have to go around the loop again and see what other lessons are there for you.
Yeah, I love that. Because I think it's also about like aligning yourselves with things that allows you to create, right? That's what lovers do. They create something new of what they bring together with the community they have around them.
That's a good one. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Do you find, Kayla, that you often see certain cards popping up more as you're drawing? Like, are there ones that like come up more often in different seasons? Because that's something I'm always interested in with tarot in general, when patterns like emerge.
Yeah, because we're all a collective, right? Like we're all a part of each other's lives. We're all, know each other, whether it can be good or positive, right? Everything is a spectrum because binaries are made up and trap us all, right? So I've been reading tarot like professionally for about 3 years now.
Oh, you're professional. I have your card.
You are.
No air quotes.
Professional.
You are professional.
She's available for corporate events.
Okay. Contact my manager at our gay pirate show.
And weddings.
Yeah.
And weddings.
Fabulous jobs.
But if you track back 3 years, you can imagine what was happening in culture and our society, the big panty. So I did notice that there was a lot of Eight of Swords that was being drawn during that time, just because I think that when we have such a shift, right? When we had we had a reckoning, right? We had a reckoning in so many different ways that a lot of people do feel trapped in themselves. And it really is like a step of the Eight of Swords feels scary, but it's one of my favorite cards because it just reminds us that like life is about the stories we tell ourselves and we tell the others around us, right? So it's just like deciding what that is and not letting all the chatter dictate those things, I think. Yeah. I think I love the scary tarot cards, if we're being honest.
I used to be so scared of them. And I used to constantly get the Tower.
They hold that good stuff though.
Right. My favorite.
I just got the Tower.
Wait, who? You did, Carly?
I did a read for myself the other day and it was like, Death, the Tower. And I was like, cool, I love big change.
How did it make you feel? Like, did you feel nervous, or after reflection, did you find like a sense of peace?
It was, at first I was like, damn, okay. Like I was like, okay. But it was like, the thing about those scary cards is that they always have the best medicine. Because the more fun ones, and once you recognize, like once you learn how to recognize patterns of joy, and once you learn how to be present and you really practice that, like you can enjoy those good times, so that when you are challenged and when your ego is knocked down again and when you are brought back into your body, you can actually get that medicine, as opposed to just like avoiding it and like it's not happening and like I'm not gonna like. So at first I was like, oh, okay, but then I was like, okay, well this will be good then, because that means that at the end of whatever lesson I'm learning, I will get that medicine that I need.
Yeah, and sometimes you need to have like what you're looking for, or like I need an answer to is not really what you actually need an answer to. So it's really helpful. If you have a favorite or a card that you don't like, just let us know in the chat. Let's see what else is out there that people are kind of they're scared about.
People in the chat, what does the lovers mean to you? How does that make you feel? My favorite tarot reader did a webinar or whatever, and one of the things that I really took away was that the best tarot reading, she said, leads her to a deeper question about herself. And I was like, that is magic. That really is magic.
I love that, because it shouldn't be a cut and dry, right? It should do that.
Yeah, right? Because it's all about like self-discovery. That's what, anytime I'm feeling like down on myself, I just have to remind myself that like we are literally the fool in the tarot deck. Like all of us are fools going through the journey. So like give yourself a little slack, give yourself some grace as you climb up that fucking mountain, because it's going to be hard,
Yeah. What were you saying, Felicia?
So sorry, I lost my train of thought. And it was really good, but then it was so good what you were saying, and I was like, oh my God, yes. And then I was like, wait, what did I have to say? And then no, because it was so good. I think it was you were talking about how like a good tarot reader would be like, this makes me think deeper into these things and makes me have more questions, because I think people are scared of tarot because they think this is telling you what's going to happen, not realizing we're not trying to predict what's going to happen. We are just giving you confirmation as to where you are in this moment. So if you're looking for someone to tell you what to do or what's going to happen, it's like that. That's how people like take advantage of you. It's like, we're trying to have you think deeper and have a deeper connection with yourself. So like, it's been a while since I've like consistently drew cards, just because I've been going through a lot in life. And like, I appreciate this moment now because it's helping me find that love I had for tarot reading and like the understanding of it and the patience of it. So like, this is really cool.
I'm glad though that you're taking that break, because also like our lives aren't about healing all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take the break for yourself. Because I remember the first time my tarot reader took a break, I was like, oh, blasphemy. How could you need a break from this? And then I was like, oh shit, because it's like life is fucking happening.
Yeah, it's so heavy.
Yeah. How long have you been like working with tarot stuff for, Alicia?
I started during pandemic too, because I was kind of interested in it, but I grew up really religious, so it was like, don't do it. But during quarantine, I got a deck and started doing it for me and my roommates and like my friends, and we were having those deeper conversations and learning so much about ourselves and things that we had already knew. And I was like, wow, this is really powerful. It's a powerful tool.
Yeah. Does anybody have like a first experience with tarot they want to share or anything like that?
The first time I had tarot done, one of my friends did it like for a full moon ritual, and it was after like a really horrific experience in my life, like a really bad relationship. And it was just like, I just needed like, I feel like words and images for what I was going through that were not the ones that I had. And so he like pulled, I don't remember which card it was, but like he was reading it and he's like, so this one is saying that you just went through something really bad, like a really probably abusive relationship, and things were really bad. And we both just looked at each other and we're like, so we're going to move on to like the next card. Cause it was like, we don't need to go further into that. We understand. And then the next two cards were like, again, I don't remember what they were, but I remember being very soothed. And that the last card was like reversed. And it was about how like things come in cycles and you'll like, they end, but they also like, they don't end, but they diminish. So even though this like pain and thing I was going through so badly right now felt like it was forever, like it was gonna be okay in the future, even if it came back up. And I don't know, it just gave me something to look towards, and like saying that those images are like words that maybe you're not ready to say or you're feeling but you just don't have. I feel like it's really helpful for that.
I love that so much. It is.
It's also a really great tool to like, there's so many things because I feel like it's like we're all connected right now on the internet, which is so dope. Like, so I always hesitate to be like the digital age is separating us because it's a tool. Like, it's just like anything. It's like a tool that we can use to come together. It's a tool that we can use to isolate. But the thing about tarot is it's so cool because it's like old school, getting down on the ground, spreading out the cards and like being in community with other people and like talking about, because it's so cool to like, because I don't have all the cards memorized. So what I'll do is like, I'll look at them, I'll look at the pictures and I'll say what I think is probably happening with the spread, but then I'll read it with the person so that they can be like, oh, this is what I think of when you read what the meaning of these cards is. And then we can talk about what that means for them and then like come to it together. And that, I think that's like the coolest part of like laying the cards out and being with somebody else and like really like gabbing about the things that maybe they didn't have. It's like a prompt for like, they didn't think that they'd be able to talk about this, but now they actually get to.
Yes.
It's
I know like Kayla said that their therapist like uses tarot a little bit, and I had a therapist who also like started because they're like, all my clients are queer and do this, so I need it to like communicate.
That's a good therapist.
Yes. Right? I was
She
like,
knows her base.
Exactly. Does anyone else like, I don't know, either have like experience with it in that like mental health like way, like directly? I feel like we kind of touched on it, like finding it in the pandemic and things like that. Just curious.
I think some of the practices with like very fortunate enough to have a therapist. Something that she practices is just like taking time and like listening to what's around you, whether that is your body or what's happening. I think a good therapist, why they may not believe or understand everything that you have, is like accepting it and then trying to figure out how it best works for you. So my therapist in that realm might not so use like tarot itself. They do a good job of like energy and space and like listening, which I think tarot and other forms of it allow us to like really sit in it, because sometimes like we're talking about the internet kind of being good, kind of being bad. A good part, double-edged sword, going back to tarot, is that it allows you to have information that you or feel less alone. I feel like if had this big pandemic is what we're calling it.
Yeah.
Big pandy.
Big panty.
Had happened earlier or a time when there wasn't digital, I think people would feel less connected. I feel even though we were isolated, and there are some things with that, this form and tarot itself allows us to like check in with people. So I think that's a good crossover.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that made
Crossover.
yeah, that made me think of something that I think is maybe one of the more woo-woo things that I believe is like, also when I'm reading tarot, if I feel stuck or I'm like, why am I getting this card? It's cool to think of like how many other people have been in my same position, right? Because like people have been using tarot for like hundreds of, if not thousands of years. So also just to think like, oh, this is like the human experience. And like to what you're saying, like I can go online and like go to a Reddit thread and see what this card meant to this person that I might never meet, but we like spiritually or healing wise are going through the same thing. So it really has made me appreciate community in like a really different way, I think.
Especially when you were talking about cards being pulled that are similar, I feel like that energy that's still left on the card. That's why it's just important not only to like keep the energy going, but at a certain point to let it go, whether it is through like saging or other spiritual needs. It just allows us to let go. And that's one thing like I've been working on too, especially with some personal things in my life. It's like I'm excited for what's to come, but also it's a little bittersweet for fill in the blank reasons without getting too into it. And part of that is learning to let that go. And maybe I didn't always let it go. So I think this, going back to what we're talking about, tarot allows us to like stop and examine ourselves in times when we may not get to, especially in like now that we're having the new normal, we're not having that time just to sit and be okay with whatever's happening.
Totally agree with that. I think it's a beautiful thing too of I think you get what you put in energy wise, of like if you're open to it, I think you can unlock things really in a beautiful way. And the first experience I ever had with tarot was someone was doing a reading at the Renegade Craft Fair. Shout out to Renegade. It's a very fun fest that comes all across the country. So not just Chicago, all over. And the way that her name was Cass, did the reading was, it was a 7-card draw, and each card was related to your chakra. And it just felt it kind of like unlocked something of like, this made sense to me. And I saw her several times before she had moved to another city, and certain cards showed up over and over again, and it felt like I wasn't learning the lesson, and like the cards knew. And I found that so eerie, but also so like, this makes sense to me. And so I've always found like a lot of meaning and a lot of like truth in the cards when I get them drawn. So yeah, I think they're just a beautiful tool that you can add into your mental health, into your life, and just so many like spots of people's journeys. So love tarot.
I love that.
Maria, was there, as you were learning this lesson of like letting go, was there a specific card you felt that like really brought the lesson over, or do you think it was like a culmination of different cards?
I think it's a combination, just like a positive thing that's happening is I'm getting married in 6 months.
Congratulations.
Based my personality now. But
it has to be. It literally has to be, or nothing will ever get done.
You deserve.
You're allowed. You're allowed.
Yeah.
But also, look, I'm gonna look good in this dress.
Yes, she is.
My fiance is watching it. It's gonna be baby blue. No, but yesterday was a conversation, just like I was just talking my future wife. Thank you, Wes. He's in the chat. Is letting go is like people you thought were gonna be a part of your life and be at this like big life event. Both like who are like not here because they're no physically not here, but people that are still here, is like letting go of like letting go of like, yeah, that person is not gonna steal your energy on that day, but also like energy or stuff that you try to share with people, because everyone's gonna have opinions. So in this like positive thing, you have to still protect yourself in that. So like when I do tarot readings or read my horoscope or like think of that, it allows me to like be reminded that like it's okay, 1, to let go, and 2, to enjoy something. I think sometimes we get our own way because like, oh my gosh, it's not even from like a money perspective. It's just like, oh my God, I'm inviting people to come watch this very intimate thing where I like commit to something. I think sometimes we don't give ourselves that permission to do that as well. And so something like, that's what I thought of when this particular card was being pulled. It was just like, okay, it's okay. So it's just like a good reminder, and like sort of, even though we're all going through different things, there is a commonality and theme to it. Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
I love that.
Thank you. Boo, 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 transition.
I know.
I don't, yeah, sorry. I need to not, I'm also working on that. Like during when I was like talking about this with my fiance of just different things. And I was like kind of tearing up about it. I would start laughing. He's like, it's okay to tear up. So I'm also working on that. I'm not everything has to be funny. We can just sit in moments.
I get that. I feel like when my therapist started me on my tarot journey, like one of my first lessons is that like nothing is like just good or just bad. Like literally everything is a spectrum. Everything has a reaction. So like chill. I was like, I look at myself in the mirror, like chill out. You know what I mean? Like you gotta be grounded to find your people, to find your spark, to find your shine,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's so interesting, because that's something I'm working on too, is finding like the gray area and things. Because like I am aware that there's a gray area, but for whenever I'm like making a decision, I'm like, but it's black or white, and I have to choose either or. When it's like, or I can vocalize that I want both and figure out a way to do that, or whatever it is. That's so interesting, because it's so like deeply embedded in me that it has to be one way or the other.
And some of that is true. Like what you were talking about earlier about even your podcast and growing up first generation. I think being raised by someone who's first generation, like my mom, is seeing some of those. She's gotten better in her, but like later in life about that and some of the things you're talking about. But I'm also seeing that in her, of just like not having to understand that there's gray to something. And so, but that even then that's still like ingrained in me too, because I'm like, well, once I make decision, that's the way it's going to be, instead of allowing us to evolve. Yeah,
That's real.
We are
It's
having
also
church on this
helpful-
Sunday.
I know, right?
Here we
Yes. Beautiful.
It's also
Connection.
helpful like accepting things about yourself too, because once you give that grace to like everything, you like give it to yourself. It's like a portal to that, like, because I know like every day I'm like, that's bad, you did it bad, or like when you do that it makes you a bad person, like just these like weird like these like scripts that run where I'm like, I'm not, whoa, like it's like but once you like give that grace to everything else, you also can give that grace to yourself, and like it's okay.
We're
Chill
really
out.
good at
That's
giving
so
each other
beautiful.
advice, giving other people advice, but not ourselves.
We're also just like giving ourselves the permission to show people the work in progress. Like it doesn't, I don't have to give
Yeah.
everybody all the time the final product, you know? It's like, I'm working, I'm figuring, I'm trying, you know?
Oh my gosh, that's so true. Because the way I was
That
like,
is
oh,
true.
I can't be around people because I'm not at the place where I want to be, or I'm not happy. And it's like,
I'm not the
people will
perfect
take you
version
as
of
you are.
myself.
Yeah, that doesn't exist. People will take you showing up as your perfect version. And people that
Yes.
love you will be there for you and work through it and talk about it. Like, we don't have to have conversations that are just like avoiding whatever it is that's happening in our lives. It's okay to talk about it.
Yeah.
I love that. People who love you will be there. Yeah. And accept you like where you're at.
And people,
Yeah.
like that, it's also like getting away from the people that aren't meant for
Yeah.
you.
Bye,
Yeah.
Tower card. Yeah.
And sometimes
Another
those are
gift.
people- Oh, sorry.
I just said another gift.
Oh, and sometimes those are people that you're related to, and it's coming up with your own chosen family. And like, I know like they're cheesy movies, but I do like the Fast and Furious movies in part because they're cheesy, but also and campy. I love them, but also it's like an example of like chosen family.
It
And
is.
Yeah.
Family.
that I'm drawn to. And they go to space. What's going to happen in 10 and 11? Nobody knows.
They go to space?
They're
This
going
In
is
nine.
shocking
Yeah.
to me. In a car?
I'm learning a lot.
In a
In a
car?
car.
In a car?
Yeah, in a car. We'll chat more. It's a whole other
That
conversation.
franchise
We'll
is going
chat
places,
more.
okay.
We'll chat more.
That is Fast and Furious
Yeah.
information.
So now it's like, where are they going to go with it? I
Yeah.
know we couldn't have gone through a segment without me mentioning Fast and Furious. You're right.
I'm surprised it took
Yeah.
this long, honestly.
Yeah, 40 minutes in. I didn't.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maria, who is your favorite
Actually.
character in the franchise, and what do you think their sign is?
Ooh,
Oh,
good
okay,
question.
here's the thing. It changes a lot. But I think my favorite is, I also don't know some of their actual names of characters, but I know like Ludacris.
Oh, good.
But my favorite line, and I quote it too many, or favorite scene is in Fast Five when Vin Diesel and Paul Walker are talking about, because if you haven't seen these movies, I'm spoiling it all. Paul Walker's character just found out that his girlfriend's pregnant, and so he didn't have a good relationship with his father. So he asked Vin Diesel, like, what was your relationship with your father? And Vin Diesel, let's be honest, not the greatest actor of our generation.
Okay, wait a minute.
Says you.
I know. But he talks about being a father, and just like the way he just delivers his monologue. If you took acting a 101, the teacher would be like, can you add some emotion to this? I love it. You know, I
amazing.
don't, but what is Vin Diesel, his character in Fast and Furious sign is probably, see, like leader. He might be, he has like Leo energy, I feel his character to be. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Leo rising, Cancer moon.
Cancer moon. I don't think he has Cancer in him. Well, I think
Scorpio?
Family.
Yeah, maybe
He has a little bit of Libra in him.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
I have a hot take that I think Cancer is the meanest of the water signs.
Yo, that is a hot take.
Not so hot. I've had my heart broken by a mean ass cancer.
Those little crabby crabs, they'll get ya.
They are
Yeah.
Heard it here
crabby
first.
crabs. That's true.
That
Yeah.
horrific situation I was talking about was a Cancer.
Yeah.
Oh, and
more
my
cancers,
work
unfortunately.
situation was also a Cancer.
Yeah. So,
Nothing against any of the signs. We're all the signs.
but
Yeah, we're all the
Everything's
signs.
good and
but-
bad
How
and
healed are
everything.
you? How healed are you?
Gray areas, gray areas, gray areas.
but our
I would
also,
say
But
that's
cancers are still
true.
bad.
Cancer, we're coming for you.
so we can agree
I
that
heal
Cancer is the
Cancer.
worst in the power rankings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have I met
Well, then
a
you go
healed
healed,
cancer?
unhealed.
Has anyone met a healed cancer?
I
My mom.
have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Your mom.
I have.
Okay,
Okay.
Gorgeous. Okay.
They exist.
Do you also
then I take
find-
back what I said.
Do you also find that some of the people that you're closest with is that their parent is the same sign? So like in the podcast I co-host with Julie, we both have Capricorn moms. And we feel like, oh, we can, so that was like one thing that we discovered was like, wow, our moms, so we know like different ways to deal with that.
Oh my God, I think my mom's a Capricorn too. Wow.
When's your birthday?
January 6th.
Yeah, welcome.
My dad's a Capricorn. Does that mean something?
Yes, my dad is too. It does.
That makes so much sense, Val.
Also,
I love your dad.
I'm a Cancer moon. I don't know if that's bad.
Well, you're healed, so we love you.
Exactly.
Great.
You're a good
Plus, they're
one.
dating
We'll keep
you.
you around.
Yeah.
I think I'm more Cancer as the sun.
And there's like, I'll say it because my mom's not in this chat. Yeah. I'll say it because my mom's not in this chat, but my mom had to go to therapy before she became fun. You know what I mean? Like,
Just
There's
tips. I'm
evolution.
trying to get my mom in.
Who
and
amongst
my
us?
mom is a Virgo, and good Lord, we have a hard time.
yeah, because
Oh,
it's our
God.
sister
Love her.
sign.
Mm-hmm.
Virgo is a Pisces sister sign. So your sister sign is across from you in the chart. And so y'all have the
Okay.
same goals, but you have different perspectives on how you reach them. So they're
Ain't that the truth? Okay, that's unlocking something for me. Thank you.
Now I'm
Ooh.
wondering what Scorpio sister sign, excuse me.
I know. I was like, what's?
Oh,
have their
Taurus. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I confess something to this group because I feel like it's a safe
Yes.
space.
Please.
Yes.
Beyond my own signs, the other signs I really know the most about are only if I've ever had a crush on you or if we've dated. Is that
proud of you.
bad? Like that's the
I'm
only
proud of
deep dives
you.
I've got into.
as a
I feel like I could tell you.
Pisces, that makes sense.
No, it does because you're like looking at it and you're like, what do I need to expect or is wrong?
Yeah.
Like, for example,
Mhm.
The first guy I was like with dating, we were both Scorpios. So I was like, never again with Scorpios because they're too much alike. You know, you don't want to date yourself. Maybe you do.
You really don't want to date yourself. You
Oh
become
my God.
resentful.
Yeah. But then some of the people that I've dated that I've had like the weirdest breakups or weird stuff were Cancer men. So that goes back to why I don't like them. Yeah.
Amen. I'm
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
Kayla and I are dating, fun fact. And we
And
had
they're
our
very
charts-
cute.
Oh my God. Yeah,
we had
yeah.
our charts read together, like when we first started dating. And I feel like I was very vulnerable because I was like, what if they're like,
You guys should break up.
yeah, like this is gonna be.
Oh,
not
okay,
good.
let's like preface this as the person who read our tarot was also my therapist.
Yeah,
Oh, say.
Oh,
That's
okay.
You
huge.
better be telling me therapy afterwards.
huge risk, but it was really cool to, I don't know, like again, giving words to feelings that we had, and like our charts like go like this. Like Kayla's all heavy on one side and I'm on the other, and it kind of makes like the full thing. So
That's
I think
beautiful.
Awesome.
it's good to have your partner's consent, but you should be stalking them. Like if like astrologically, it's informative.
Yeah, no, in the first 2 months of my relationship, I was like, what is everything? Let's get it together. And I like screenshot there. So
Yeah.
a lot.
Yes.
Mhm.
To
So I
me,
think that's
if
good.
I'm stalking somebody, my most important planets to know from them is their Mars and their Mercury. So I know how they communicate and how they fight. Like that's what I want.
Oh,
Mars
I
and
should be
Mercury.
taking
I'm writing
notes.
that down.
I know, please take
Yes,
it.
it
Write that down.
Mars, Mercury.
I
Got-
dive
Yeah.
on my husband's chart, and I think I need to. I love him. We're great.
Get it.
Newlywed, but that's one thing I have not done a deep dive on.
Well, that
So.
was I'll be vulnerable here. I was like no contact with my dad for a little bit, just because sometimes, like we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
sometimes you just need space. You can't heal where you were traumatized.
No.
I hate to say it. Sorry, Dad. But when I did decide it was okay to like reconnect, that's the first thing I fucking did. I was like, what is your Mercury in and what is your Mars in? Because we are not communicating well. And I at least want to be on solid ground when I go back into that relationship. And guess what? Anytime we are like, it's not perfect, right? And like there's still boundaries and stuff. But anytime we fight, I'm just like, okay, like rolling my eyes at him. I'm like, you're just never gonna get it. Bye, you know? So it also gives you peace of mind, even if other people aren't in it, you know?
I think our charts allow us to have a foundation and set that up, and then where we can like heal from, where we can grow from, and maybe like to connect it to what we were talking about with tarot reading allows us to have that check-in of like where are you at in your journey and like understanding. And one thing I wish when I like, so in 2017 I got diagnosed with generalized anxiety and depression, and I was like, great, diagnosed, it's all going uphill, and then of course it's not. Like it goes up and down, and I wish I had known that at the time, because then I wouldn't be so hard. Like you did all this work and now you're not back to square one because you did all the work. You're just at a different part of your journey. So I think like understanding our foundation of where we're from, and then obviously like stuff that happens, and having stuff like these, what you can call it woo-woo, I call it like way of life. Like
Woo-woo is a term. It's like, I believe, a Chinese term for it. For like, it's like
It is.
it
Yeah.
is like
Okay.
it is what it is. Yeah. We
Yeah.
Westerners are like woo-woo, but they're like, yeah, dude.
And they're like, actually, for real.
Actually,
Like we're saying it serious. Woo
the
woo.
space between the space.
Yeah, I think it just allows us to have this space and allows us to like be able to have some control, but also allow the universe to like come in when it needs to. Like, you know, I definitely have like my monthly saging, my like salt and cinnamon kind of thing. And, you know, I'm trying to get the ghost out of the house. I do a lot, you know.
Oh yeah,
It's
open
work.
your windows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wash your doors. Yeah, I get it.
Mhm.
Got you.
So many of those things are real too. Like
Yes.
black salt around your house is like ash and like salt. And we had really bad ants like one summer, and the only thing that got rid of them and stopped them from coming into the house was black salt, was pouring ash and salt like everywhere they walked. And I was like, dang, all this stuff really got villainized when it was just like cool, helpful, like practice.
The simplest things work the best. There's a
truly
reason
do.
people did them. Yes.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
Yeah, it's a different kind of science, and it's like, no, we can believe one type, but we should also like understand like the world around us too.
Yeah, it's all of it. That's what tarot and astrology has taught me. It's literally every single emotion. It's every journey. It's fucking all of it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're at like it's about 10 more minutes, so we can start like closing up, wrapping up. I don't want to rush the wrap up because that's really important. So let's move on to that. I think Carly.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh,
These
wow.
are all of our shows. These are all the
Oh,
shows.
I'm not the gay pirate.
I'm not the gay pirate. Well, these are we're not with our shows, but let's
Yeah.
go
Oh,
around
it's
one
the
more
script
time.
part.
These
Let's
are
go
the
around one
vibes.
more
All of
time and
them.
say our shows. My
We're
name is
missing.
Carly. I host the Spark, which is a live show that we have on Trident. I believe it's the last Sunday. It's on Sunday every month, but we change it because of jobs. But this next one is next Sunday. So the next Spark show is next Sunday. We talk about the universe and everything, the healing journey, all that good stuff. That's what we do. And then what's the next? Let's do who's next to me? Let's do Felicia.
Okay, yes, my name is Felicia. I co-host a podcast called Unlearning. And that's what I do.
Well, and you have another podcast that's in development.
And a podcast that's in the works. Yeah.
But mostly you're healing.
Mostly healing. And that's my life podcast. Yeah.
The podcast of my life.
And I don't want to listen to mine. Yeah.
You do. Kristen.
Great. Again, I'm Kristen Hallen, and I am hosting Trident Trivia. Next date TBD. Keep an eye out on all of our socials. We'll be plugging that. I really feel strongly that it's going to be Vanderpump Rules trivia because it's of the moment. It's in the zeitgeist. It's all happening. We're learning more things. So stay tuned. I really feel strongly it's going to be that. Thank you. It's been a wonderful time.
Has been a wonderful time. Kayla.
It's been really good.
Hi again. My name is Kayla, and I host the Witching Hour, which is every third Monday at. Are we at 8? Yes, we're at 8 p.m. I will say, content warning: we're smoking weed, we're cussing, we're having fun, we're doing fun things. So it is an adult show, but like in a fun, we're all kids kind of way. We talk about astrology and tarot and basically make fun of ourselves for the things that we're learning. Because healing, we gotta laugh while we're healed, because otherwise we're crying. Felicia, I know. When you told me about that, I was like, I feel that so hard. So yeah, come laugh, come fun, roll you up a little smoke or drink your drink, whatever you like to do.
Hell yes.
Maria.
Yeah. Before I close out, I would like to be on the Vanderpump Rules thing.
Yes.
I will even watch the 2 seasons I didn't watch that were completely boring because they're all happy and like living their lives. But I will to do research. Yeah. I've also found out through this whole like craziness of how many people watch Vanderpump that I didn't know. I think it's a show nobody talked about with other people because it is trash and it's a horrible show, but it's so entertaining. But you don't want to be like, oh, I'm a Vanderpump fan versus like maybe Housewives. Anyways,
It's a villain show. They're all villains. You know what I mean?
yes. So I would like to campaign for that. But also, back to me. My name is Maria Konopkin. I'm co-host of the Sparks of Madness. We'll be coming back with season 2 later this year. And yeah, that's it. That's it.
Beautiful. Hello again. I'm Vivian, and I host our gay pirate show, Setting Sail, tomorrow at 9 p.m. Central.
Okay.
We also smoke and drink because we're pirates. So be prepared for that.
Amazing.
And if
Amazing.
you like hearing my voice in the skies, I am always here. Always.
Val is our sky mommy.
What is I was gonna say, Sky Mommy.
Yeah.
I'm Sky Pirate. I have many names.
Yeah, Sky Pirate.
Trent calls me tech support.
It depends on the show. We love
Eyes in the skies.
The thing I love about Val being a reoccurring character in all of our shows is that you really are learning so much.
Oh my gosh, you have no idea. I had never seen Bridgerton. I had never seen Our Flag Means Death. I knew
Your culture.
literally nothing about astrology or tarot. Yeah, I mean, probably the thing I knew most about was improv, but even on that show I learn a lot every time I'm on there. So yeah, it's a blast. I love being the voice in the clouds for all of your shows. It is truly my greatest pleasure.
You're great. You're great, Val.
So let's close out this show with some breathing. We'll just do 3 breaths in and out, and people in the chat can do it as well, just to like, we've been on a journey. We've talked a lot of stuff. Some subjects might be sensitive, so just breathing is the one thing you can control, whether it is you in life. So let's just do a rule of 3s because I'm an improv nerd. Okay, so let's breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. One more time, breathe in, breathe out. Thanks so much for watching the Coven and Crossover.
We love you exactly the way that you are.
Thank you for your energies. Thank you.